Hello there fellow humans and welcome to this video, and today we're going to talk about the statistically worst tier 10 tank in the game, that is the M48 Patton. On Blitz starts, it's currently sitting at a win rate of 47.73, which is 0.03 better than the Leopard 1, which first of all tells us that Wargaming hates medium tanks, because right above that is the M60 and the FV4202. But why are these tanks performing that bad? Is it because they're bad tanks? No, that is not the case. Let's take a look at this real quick. It has very good turret armor, so you can bounce a lot off the turret. Obviously, it's not Superman turret, so some things will penetrate. The hull is quite weak, but still, because of the angle, the upper plate is quite strong, as you can see right there. Also, the hull, if you can see right there, is sort of boat-shaped, so you can bounce things off the side, obviously, because it's the additional angle there, which is pretty good. Then it has 3000 DPM if you use calibrated, which I definitely recommend, because the complete unnecessary medium tank penetration nerf basically made you have to use calibrated on mediums these days, which is kind of disappointing, but then again, it still has good accuracy and 9 degrees of gun depression. The mobility is rather meh. It is more of a Patton rather than a Patton. So let's play this tank and let's see what is wrong with it, and let's talk about it a little bit as well. Now, why are all the medium tanks performing that badly? Well, it is to one degree because Wargaming overbuffed all the heavy tanks and made the heavy tanks way too strong by also nerfing the medium tanks penetration, for example. And because obviously when the heavy tanks are the strongest, they're the easiest to play, so the bad players are going to do well with those, and it's going to get the bad players a better gaming experience, which obviously is a thing that Wargaming wants to do, because the average or bad player is obviously more common than a good player that does very, very well with mediums. But nonetheless, 1600 average damage across everyone in this vehicle, roughly, so it is not doing that well. So let's try to do the right thing here. Now we're on Dynasty's Pearl, one of the worst maps in the Tank Blitz, so let's try to do the right thing. Now, gotta say it right off the bat, the Vickers is a better medium tank than this one. It is also a better medium tank than the Leopard, because the Leopard is basically a light tank, and it is not to be recommended for anyone to start as their first tier 10, because if you go for a medium as your first tier 10, then it should be the E50M, because it forgives the most mistakes. Because if you're a new player, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes, because you simply don't know better. So you ideally want a vehicle that is good at forgiving mistakes, that can sort of bail out your still existing incompetence, which hopefully later goes away instead of sticking around, and you having 35% win rate at £50,000, which we won't hold. But that's why I would not recommend medium tanks, because medium tanks don't really forgive mistakes that easily. You have less alpha damage, you have less armor than heavy tanks, which means you have to peek more, and you have to expose yourself more, which also means that you get shot at more, which is bad when you don't know what you're doing. So don't go for medium tanks, especially this tank. It's sort of a meh tank in every aspect. For example, the Leopard has a better gun, the E50M has better armor, and the STB is all around a more capable tank at performing this role. So the Patton is in kind of a pretty bad spot, because while it's not bad, there's just a lot of others that can do better. And that's why it is sitting down here. Same with the M60. Like, for example, why would I play the M60 when I can play the STB1, which has better turret armor, which has better mobility, and slightly better gun as well? So, yeah, there's no real place for the Patton at the moment. There's no real advantage in playing medium tanks compared to, well, first of all, tier 10 premiums, which is like the VK90 and the MX M454, also the Kronlung, which is performing really well. So why would you play this when you could just play a tank that is way better? So a lot of the people that play these tanks don't really know what they're doing, which is quite sad, because if you're a bad player, it requires a lot of awareness, and awareness is something that no one can teach you. You have to gain that yourself. Can't just tell you for every scenario, if this is that, then you have to do that. Because every game is different. Every game happens differently. which is obviously a thing that you have to learn. And I just did 3.5k damage, and I'd say that is pretty good. And we're probably going to win this, so, yeah. Let's get into the next battle. Magic edit. Boom. Alright, let's get into the next battle here, and obviously I'm in the M48 Patton again, as you may have already thought. And this time there is 4 fast tanks on the enemy team. Well, basically the thing is in WoT Blitz, light tanks don't really exist at higher tiers, because the Vickers is, in all intents and purposes, it is a medium. If you tell me that it is not, then look at it. It is a medium tank. The Batchat is actually a medium tank right of the beginning, because it was never actually intended to be a light tank. Like, for example, it is WoT Tanks PC, where it's a medium tank, so that makes sense. And then you have the Sheridan, which is actually a light tank. So, yeah. But that's not the point here. The point here is to show off my incompetence of playing this vehicle. Basically. Okay, the Vickers is about to go down, which is pretty good. Now, they have an Object 263. I don't know where he is, but let's assume that he's back there. And there is a projector right there. Don't want to peek him. Okay, the Batch is running away. That is pretty good for us, because now I can take this rock and go for Progetto. Obviously, don't forget to zoom in and aim, unless you're me, when I don't care. So, yeah. Okay, the Vixen Light is dead. Damn. That is not good for us. Okay, now, I hope that the E50M is able to hold that stuff, and an hour 57 can pen out another shot. There you go, and dead. Perfect. This is going pretty well, I'd say. This is going pretty well. Hello, Progetto. Nope. Nope. Go away. Just go away. He did go away. Nice. It's not, it's only the 263 and the Batchat left alive. The Batchat can clip me, so I should be a bit careful here, but I don't care. Because I want damage. That's how we do it here. Is he running? He is running. Well, he's circling or whatever he's trying to do. Okay, the E50 is behind me. That is pretty bad. Because now the Batchat's obviously going to focus me. And he just did not pen that shot, which means now he can't kill me. Because he only has 1 shot. Now he's reloading. Try to use that gap. Nope. Okay, the object somehow won that. Okay. And that somehow bounced. Okay, then. Okay, then. Yeah, that much about the Batchat being a light tank. It ain't, Chief. It ain't. Okay, now, where is the 263 at? He was, like, there. So, can't have gotten too far. And there he is. He is a 1-shot. Which is nice for us, because we can just chase him and kill him. Yes. Now, as you can see right here, the M48 is pretty slow, which is kind of a downer, because it's supposed to be a medium tank, but it is slow as hell. Also, the 263 has no armor, because you can just shoot the engine deck. That's why it sucks as well. And that is that battle in the M48 Patton. Next! The last one here, because 3 is cool. And let's go. Okay, we got a Vickers Light. That is cool. We also got a Sheridan. And a lot of medium tanks in this game, which is actually not too bad, because obviously if you have a lot of 183s, a lot of tanks with high alpha damage, then it's not fun, because they can obviously do a lot of damage to you, while you really can't. So that is another very big downside of medium tanks most of the time, that you can't trade with anyone, unless they shoot, miss, and then you can put 2 in for free. Okay, the enemy team is dumb. That is wonderful to know. And yeah, let's do this, I guess. I don't have too much trust into the Vickers at this point, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, there's the 257s. Interesting. It is very not smart to assume that the enemies just went around, but they did, because they're not smart. So, I time to go for the 57s. That's kind of what you don't want to do in an attack like this. Because he has 400, I have 350. So he is gonna always end up getting a better trade than I am. But since he's probably reloading now and I can just track him, which is pretty annoying if you ask me, because getting tracked is always annoying, then that is pretty good, and that's where this tank can shine. If you just play it properly, if you poke out when the enemy isn't doing anything, and that is some free damage right there. Okay, the SU, I can't get down there. 9 degrees of gun depression is a lot, but not enough. Okay, shot on this guy. Nope. That could have been a fail, but it wasn't. And now we only have the 30 prototype. The Progetto, where we know he is. And this guy, who has 1050 damage clip, which I don't want to mess with, but I'm gonna do it anyway. If he is. He looks stocked. That is a very tiny thing. He does look very stock to me. He is stock, poor guy. I do feel bad for him. Well, actually don't, but I do. Come on, Vickers. Drive properly. Okay, that's... yeah. I feel really bad for him, man. F in the comments for that, Vickers. And the T-54 as well. Damn! Right, and now the last enemy alive is this poor AMX-30, which has just given up, I guess. Shoot him with HE. I mean, at the side, but is it worth it? Nah, I'll go for the APCR instead. I'd rather do safe damage than gamble on the chance of having higher damage roll. Damage ammo rack, max roll, that is pretty cool. Can I get another one? Nope, because it has taken it. And that is a pretty good, decent game, I'd say. Let's go. So as you can see, if you know how to play this tank, then you can get some pretty good results, as you can see. So, what did you learn from this video? Just because the Patton is played shit, doesn't mean that it is shit. And if you're a good player, if you know what you're doing, if you have a lot of game awareness, then you're going to do pretty well in it. And you're going to farm W8, because that's what these tanks do. The worse the tank, the easier it is to farm W8. And with that horrible disappointment, that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye.